Hey there, my name is SweetNur, the Naval Academy class of 2015, service warfare officer of the Great Amphib Navy, former gridiron contributor for the Navy Midshipman, singer and songwriter, father of 3, soon to be 4, married to champion wife Carrie, and you may be asking yourself, what is he doing here? Well, my good friends Chris and John are taking some time to develop a new direction for Sing Second Sports podcast, and they were gracious enough to lend me the keys and take it for a spin. Now, this is a SweetNur takeover, and we will be talking sports and the return of Navy football, but do expect impromptu SweetNur marketing plugs and possibly some SweetNur music radio spins. I will do my best to keep it at a minimum. That said, are your mornings, afternoons, evenings, or nights a tad slow? Is that second or third cup of coffee just not getting the job done? Have you tried putting some SweetNur in your cup? Just a drop here and there in your daily playlist might just be the trick. Search for SweetNur on your favorite listening platform and give them a spin. That's SWEET, and as in November, you are. You know what they say? A little more SweetNur, please. Sing Second Sports, SweetNur takeover in 5, 4, 3. Today's theme, Giant Killers. This podcast celebrates the physical mission of our beloved Naval Academy, and we can go in many different directions doing so. The particular timing of today's episode, you should not be surprised. We have the Notre Dame Fighting Irish on our minds. So in a SweetNur fashion, I wanted to take this opportunity to dive into the mental fitness that plays into our physical mission. We have a stud lineup of guests that exercise their mental fitness to maximum heights. Some of them victors over Notre Dame, some reaching pinnacle positions of our military, and one even winning a Super Bowl. Yes, maybe you and I are not heading into Dublin to take down the Fighting Irish, but there's certainly a giant in your life that could use a stone shot into his eye. Maybe there's a nugget in these conversations ripe for the picking. We'll get right into these interviews, but first. So what's going on around the yard? Did you know Navy women's soccer player and Tomball, Texas native Alexa Riddle was named preseason All-Patriot League for the second year in a row? Junior Chloe Dawson named first-team academic All-American. Dawson is an honors robotics and control engineering major. She was also the Patriot League Rookie of the Year her freshman year and second-team All-Patriot League her sophomore year. Wow, incredibly smart and athletic? Her parents must be proud. Navy women's soccer team currently ranks 5th in the Patriot League entering this season, kicking off their season this month against St. John's University at home. Also kicking off their seasons this month, men's golf, women's golf, defending Patriot League champs men's soccer, and the reigning national champions men's rugby team will face off against Notre Dame in Dublin alongside the Navy football team. That's right, the Navy football opens up their season in Ireland against the Fighting Irish as well. Some new personnel in our ranks, maybe some new plays, and even a fresh take on uniforms. Keep an eye out for the Gaelic threads Under Armour sewed into the mid-special Dublin unis. And hey, if you're listening from Dublin, tap into your My USNA app and see what the Alumni Association has in store for you over the pond. Let's get started. Ladies and gentlemen, the Naval Academy's 63rd Superintendent, Vice Admiral Sean Buck. Admiral Buck, fancy seeing you in the office. I was expecting to see you sipping a pina colada on the beach. What's going on here?
I'll tell you what there, Chris. We live and are living in unprecedented times. Very briefly, I was able to celebrate with my wife, Joanne, our retirement on the 7th of July, in which we were able to say a mighty thank you to a whole bunch of people who saw us through this 40-year journey in the Navy. And then about an hour after that ceremony, Chris, I took off my choker whites, put my khakis back on, and I remained on active duty and was asked to continue to serve as the superintendent until the 31st of this month. So I officially transition out of uniform on the 31st of August, and I will be on the retired list approved on 1 September. So a little bit of twist and process of how we do things, but semper gumby.
Hey, I don't think anyone's disappointed to see you for a couple extra months. I'm sure most people were sad to see you leave. So good little pleasant surprise for us Admiral Buck fans. I am a little bit disappointed. I was looking forward to using this opportunity to announce to everybody what you're doing post-retirement. I really wanted to call you by your stage name, Buck Wild, but we'll just hold that until you are officially out. But we should tell everybody you'll be joining the band officially after you get out, which is exciting. But yeah, go ahead, sir. What do you think?
I'm ready to join. I'm ready. I've already been rehearsing and practicing.
You're a natural. I saw that the day we were doing that video together. It was all clear. It was one of those moments where the stars aligned, and I said, I found him. That's my guy. So yeah, we'll have you report. I'll send orders up from Millington. Your next station of duty, sir, will be right here in Germantown, Memphis, Tennessee, with me to get back to SweetNur Studios. Looking forward to it. But before, sir, I noticed you're wearing a Navy soccer shirt. What's the occasion?
The brigade reformed today. We got the first class midshipmen back last night, and we got all the rest of the underclassmen back today to join the new class of 2027, who just will successfully finish their plebe summer tomorrow. And ladies soccer, women's soccer opens up with a fall opener this week. So I just thought tonight I'd throw on a Navy soccer jersey to celebrate. Looking forward to an entire new season of Navy sports.
Yes, sir, as we all are, celebrating the physical mission here on Sing Second Sports. Hey, quick question to you. What's your daily workout routine? What you been doing these days to keep the pounds off and the heart rate young?
Well, to tell you the truth, I am humping 80 to 100-pound brown boxes full of my personal property up and down 3 flights of stairs in our new house. And that's definitely given me my strength and a little bit of my cardio workout. Otherwise, I jump on a Concept 2 rowing machine and stay in shape.
I like it. That brings me back to our plebe summer days. I don't know about you, but I had to lug a 60-pound sack up like 4 flights of stairs in 7th wing. Did you have a similar experience?
I was on the 3rd deck of 2nd wing, but I had a lot of stairs like you did. And the other thing I'm doing to stay in shape, which is kind of cool, is something I always enjoy doing, is I like to go out each plebe summer and play tennis with the new recruited men and the new recruited women for our tennis team. It's always a lot of fun to introduce myself and see what talent the coaches were able to bring in for our teams.
So is that like a hustle moment where you kind of play nice and then crush them, or how does that usually pan out for you?
No, actually, the way that pans out for me, Chris, is I say my blessings and prayers that after an hour and a half, I last and I don't die and I don't get hurt by them hitting the ball at me at about 100 miles an hour. They've got some phenomenal talent this year on both the men's and the women's side. It's going to be real exciting to watch Navy tennis.
Awesome. Good to hear. It sounds like they're doing a good job recruiting, and it's a great sport. Tennis is a favorite of mine, too. I'm waiting for the Naval Academy to make pickleball a Division I sport. Have you picked up on this trend?
Hey, this is how hardcore the midshipmen are with pickleball. Today we had one of those, big summer thunder bumper, lightning, heavy rain storms. And about 10 minutes after the skies cleared and bright blue skies, but wet courts, I saw midshipmen out on 3 different pickleball courts. It is definitely caught on as a huge activity with the brigade on the yard.
Have you tried it yourself?
I love pickleball. I'm a racket sports guy, tennis player by trade, but pickleball, racquetball, squash, ping pong, badminton, you throw a racket in my hand and I'm a ready opponent and willing to play.
I feel the same way. I think pickleball is a great sport because it's like some reason the size of the court, the size of the ball, and the paddle allows you to be the tennis player you can't be in real tennis and the ping pong player you can't be in the ping pong. It's like a great hybrid where you can just it's like adult men's softball for me. I get to play softball now, and it's like everything's in slow motion, so I can do all my fun plays I wish I could do in real baseball. But pickleball is similar.
Perspective for this pure tennis player, I have a hard time because I'm always getting caught in the kitchen and I lose points.
That's where you lose. That's where they're going to get you, and the smart players will get you in the kitchen. I've always been told, too, you got to stay low. It's a very low game. The lower you are to the court, the better it is, I guess. But I get mopped up and down the floor here by a bunch of old geezers here in Memphis that just play pickleball all day. You'd be surprised.
Didn't our mamas tell us to stay out of the kitchen?
They did, and there we go. It's a life lesson. So tell me, are you going to Dublin, Ireland this year? What's going on?
God, I can't wait. We've been planning this trip for a year, Chris. We are heading to Dublin. It's what's really cool about this extension of my time as soup is I am the soup for the Navy-Notre Dame game. So we're blessed to officially represent the Naval Academy in uniform, travel over there with the team, stand on the sidelines and cheer Navy to a victory over Notre Dame as soup. And at the conclusion of that game, that's when I wrap it up as soup. So yes, sir, I'm going to Dublin. Can't wait.
I love the positivity, and I think that's a great way to kick off the season. I think that's going to be a good omen over the team, if you ask me. Hey, what's your prediction this year? Navy-Notre Dame, at least for game one.
Okay, here's my prediction. I was talking to our athletic director today, Chuck Gladchuck. We're both in violent agreement. 36-32 to a team that wears blue and gold.
Fair enough. I think I know what team you're talking about. Hey, on the subject of football, you obviously were involved in the hiring process with Coach Newberry. Was there anything in particular you saw in him that gave you the confidence, that gave you the kind of feeling and the peace of mind that you got the guy in the right position?
2 or 3 things really stuck out with Coach Newberry. One, his brilliance for 4 years as our defensive coordinator, just absolute brilliance and innovation, creating chaos and confusion for the opponent's offensive side with our defense. As you know, Navy's defense has been super strong and has kept us in many, many of the games that we didn't prevail in, but we stayed in the game because of our great defense. Second thing that was super attractive to Coach Newberry is he gets it. He is definitely bought in to the overall mission of the Naval Academy, developing these young men morally, mentally, and physically. He loves to win. He's a competitor, but he also understands that we've got a primary mission out there, too, to develop leaders for our Navy and our Marine Corps. And I love all of our coaches who are bought into both sides of that equation.
Amen to that, sir. Hey, want to say thank you for coming on and spending some time with us. We are a big fan of the podcast. Is obviously a big fan of Admiral Buck, and I obviously am, being a fellow band member, brother in arms. Last question for you. What is your favorite SweetNur song?
Oh, my gosh, that's easy, Chris. The song that brought you and I together. When I happened to be driving along the road and I picked up this young, handsome country singer that was hitchhiking and needed to get home, and he started singing John Denver.
I like it.
That's a song that'll be in my heart for the rest of my life.
Me too, sir. I appreciate you and all your support. So thank you for coming on, and keep jamming to SweetNur. Oh, I must tell you, we're coming to play a show in Annapolis, October 7th. You're not moving far after you retire, so we hope to see you out there. We're going to be playing downtown Annapolis. The SweetNur House Show is coming to Annapolis, Maryland. Are you going to be there, sir?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, sir. Go Navy. Have a good rest of your evening.
Thanks.
So Thursday, September 14th, Navy football comes to Memphis for a conference matchup. That's great news for Mid-South Navy fans like myself, because we're going to have a good alumni tailgater lined up. But that also means that weekend in Annapolis is wide open for recreational activities. Did you know that happens to be the weekend of the Annapolis Songwriters Festival? And did you know your boy is going to be in the lineup? That's right. Friday the 15th and Saturday the 16th, I'll be performing in multiple writers' rounds for the festival throughout downtown Annapolis. I would be delighted to see you in the crowd, and I'd love to meet you after the shows. For more details, type Annapolis Songwriters Festival into your search bar. And you should also hit up NavySports.com and check the schedule. Home matchups that weekend include women's rugby, and men's tennis. Sounds like a full day of action and a relaxing evening of music and storytelling. Responsibly throw a cold beverage in there, and it might be the perfect day. I like your odds. So in the spirit of the SweetNur Takeover, for the next few interviews, I brought my brother John on, Naval Academy class of 2013 and Navy football inside linebacker. He wanted to get in on some of this fun. Next up, Naval Academy class of 2010, two-time victor over Notre Dame, deliverer of the infamous 2007 flying sack, outside linebacker number 34, Vela.
So 4th down and 8. Notre Dame's going to go for it.
Sharply sacked. Vela right over the top.
Vela went over.
A leaping Lena by Vela. And I just think that's a bad decision. I think you got to attempt a field goal there. But watch it from the left part of the screen. Right over Armando Allen.
What a play.
Vela, he plays that striker position. Looked like one there. Oh, man. Was that a play?
All right, so Ram, we just watched your infamous sack against Notre Dame in 2007. What class were you at that time?
I was a sophomore. Yeah.
You're a sophomore. All right, so where do we begin here? How do we unpack this one? I first want to say I was watching that game in high school. I had just become enlightened of the Naval Academy and the Navy football program thanks to my brother being recruited. So we really started watching the games and never forgot this number 34 guy, outside linebacker. That was the position I was playing. So it really was impactful on me personally. And then, of course, I went to the Naval Academy, went to NAPS, the prep school for the Navy, and you were my coach up there. So it just was just an awesome experience. Great way to start out my Navy football career with you. So, hey, man, let's talk about this, all right? What's going through your head that fourth down? What are you thinking about?
Yeah, I think in order to kind of understand where my mentality was at, you have to go back, a few possessions where, and you also have to keep in mind, this is at that time I'm a sophomore. I went to NAP, so I guess I'm like a redshirt, but it was my second or third full game starting. I was a recruited quarterback, somehow made the transition over to defensive back. And then, during the Duke game, which was our second or third game of the season, got thrown into outside linebacker. So, we're in the fourth quarter, it's fourth down, big play. But, if you rewind it back, I was playing a new position, still was unfamiliar. I was at a point where, Coach Green, our defensive coordinator, had simplified our entire defense to, a couple of plays around cover 2 and cover 3, just because he knew how new I was to that position. So, kind of knowing that, then you fast forward to, Notre Dame and then, you go back a few possessions. I missed, a couple of key plays and just, made a couple of bad plays. So keep it sweet and simple. So once we get to that play, we're sitting there in the huddle, fourth down, Notre Dame should just kick it. They win the game. It's over. And for some reason, Charlie Weiss thinks it's a good idea to go for it, which in hindsight, I probably would agree with that because this is a young defense, not a lot of continuity, not a bunch of real playmakers outside of probably our corner and safety positions, who are all a bunch of young guys anyway. So there was just a bunch of things that sort of culminated in that decision. So, we're huddled up. We realize they're not going to kick a field goal. Buddy Green, our defensive coordinator, is to a certain degree out of options because, given how many yards there were to go, he's got to play some sort of coverage position. So he's taken out some of his best playmakers. And then that just leaves, we ran a 3-4. So it leaves, 3 defensive linemen who are, going to be taken up. And then he's got 2 middle backers who need to play the run. He's got 2 outside backers, one of which is a better pass rusher. And then he's got me, who's kind of like the oddball. So I just remember, I don't know if there's rules on this podcast, but I remember him looking me dead in the eyes and he's like, "Are you going to make a play?" And, I'm a sophomore. It's my second or third game starting. I'm like, well, how do you respond? Like, of course I'm going to make a play. Meanwhile, I didn't really know exactly what I was going to do. So mentality was just, I've got to do something to give us an opportunity to win this game. I've also got to do something and this goes in pecking order of priority, right? Like what's going to be best for the team, give us a chance to win. Second, what's going to be, good for me. That's going to give me an opportunity to continue to play at this position. And then number 3, like what am I going to do that's going to make me feel good about myself, where I don't have any regrets, looking back. And so, I watched some film and that was, that's how the play happened. But my mentality was just, what can I do? What are my options? And then in those times of intense, nerves and all those things, you you figure out, the best path of what you're going to do, and then you make that choice and you do it to the best of your ability and hope for the best outcome. And on that day, it was my day. So, yeah.
I love it. I have so many more questions as you unpacked all that. So let's walk it backwards again. So I want to talk about, you come in as a quarterback and they say, nah, it's not going to work out. Let's put you at D-back. Nah, it's not going to work out. You may in your mind think you're failing. Where are you continuing to harbor the confidence to keep making plays and keep putting yourself out there? And talk about that real quick.
Yeah, I mean, look, dude, it all just goes back to the love of the game and a commitment to the things that helped you get recruited. So, part of why I got recruited is that this is an opportunity for guys that are underserved, guys that, want an opportunity to play these Division I guys that can just get an opportunity to play on the field. And then you get to the academy, right? You go in with that kind of understanding, and then it transitions to, all right, well, yeah, you can want to do this, you can try really hard, but it's about, making the best of small opportunities. And I made the best of an opportunity, but I also probably wasted, one or two other opportunities where, I got put at A-back and it didn't pan out. Yeah, I didn't make a play. I got put at receiver, didn't make a play. And then we go out there, we run 40s, and they're like, oh, well, here's this guy who's, a sub 4.4, sub 4.5, type of guy. Why don't we try him out at DB? Because it's not working at offense. So I had the luxury of having a couple of opportunities, but I think to answer your question, it was just deep rooted in the love of the game. And it's not about, it's about taking the defeats, but also just understanding that there's, where one door closes, another one opens, and just continuing to be optimistic about, where I could go. And I just was really fortunate that it happened in my sophomore year, because there's guys that will keep that same mentality, keep that same energy through their senior year, and then they won't get that spot. But they're still great teammates. They're still, great contributors to the game in terms of, practice, preparation, and those types of things. So to answer your question, man, I think it's just deep rooted in the love of the game and being consistent about how you approach it, regardless of the outcome.
Absolutely, Ram. Let's talk about the team real quick. You mentioned in that story that you had a bunch of young guys on the squad. So not only it was a Navy football team, a smaller team, and obviously not as talented in many ways, but younger, so less experienced, and you guys went into South Bend and beat Notre Dame. Where was that energy coming from? Like, what was the catalyst to a kind of confidence in a young team like that?
And I think it was just a bunch of guys that were hyper invigorated and motivated to prove themselves. And there's a little pocket of selfishness, because these are guys that are trying to earn their spot on a defense that has a rich history of guys that had just dominated. I mean, I took over a striker position, which was Dave Mahoney, for 4 years, who started as a freshman and ended up, and is going to be in the Navy Hall of Fame. So those are like enormous shoes to fill. You've got like a string of quarterbacks that had like come through the program that had just like killed it. You had great defensive linemen, like just Tyler Tidwell. Like, there's just like so many guys that you can sit there and name. So everyone is lobbying for the spot where there's a vacancy because somebody that was really good had come before them. And I think that's there's a little bit of selfishness to backfill that, but also it was this weird combination of selfishness, but also, guys that were all in for what Navy stood for, that kind of culminated and gave us just that little bit of competitive advantage to beat Notre Dame. And sometimes, heart and effort is all you really need to win in the game of football, which is, the beauty of the sport.
Ram, was anything going on? How about in the locker room pre-game? Did anybody come and talk to y'all? Was this the Brian Stan pre-game speech or no?
So
he was Bobby Mack, wasn't it?
Yeah, the God honest truth is that my memory doesn't serve me very well, but yeah, it definitely wasn't Brian Stan. He was Army Navy. But yeah, it was Bobby Mack. And the speech that he gave us was about like being like 3-star athletes, and like I'm sure like this is just infiltrated guys after us. But yeah, Bobby Mack did come and give that speech, and look, we can talk about Bobby Mack all day. That guy was why I got recruited. It's a big reason of why I came to the Naval Academy. It's a big reason why I stayed at the Naval Academy, and it's a big reason why I'm proud of the Naval Academy, having graduated. But I can't sit there and honestly say that was the motivation I needed, because the motivation that I needed, and I think a lot of the guys needed, was, way before Bobby Mack. Like that was like the cherry on top, to just be like, we got an opportunity. And Bobby was at the right place at the right time, because you really did just have a bunch of hungry guys. I mean, I think there was one starting senior on that defensive squad. So it just goes to show that, you can get a bunch of young guys that can sit there and make history and take advantage of a raw opportunity. Yeah, what was the original question?
No, I'll just close with it, just saying I think what you're getting at is, I think it's 5-star heart beats 5-star talent. Was that?
5-star, yeah. 5-star heart beats 5-star talent.
I think about that every day. I'm not kidding. That has been something that's like written into my blood ever since I heard that speech, watching a highlight video of you guys. So anyways, right timing, right place for sure.
For sure.
With the perspective that you have now, and with the experiences that you've had, obviously on and off the field, and most notably leading into a game that you have some awesome traditions. There's even been articles written about how Vela is on the top 5 list for most hated things about Navy football in the history of Navy football. But you're in the locker room now, and you're talking to the guys before the game. You don't have to give us the whole pregame speech, but what do you want to make sure that if they can walk away with one line, what do you want to make sure that they've got in their heads?
I think it's being their best self and really relying on the preparation that they've had for the game. And what happens on the field is truly a consequence of the preparation. You can go out there with zero preparation and be the best, most athletic version of yourself, but man, it just doesn't get it done. So I think it's this healthy combination of preparation and being your best self, athletically, physically, mentally, that really gets it done. And if there's a way that I can, bring that into a concise, compelling speech, that's like all I really want to tell guys. And I think that it speaks to a bunch of things about why football is good, because if the preparation isn't there, then, you have an enormous vacancy. And the athletic ability is only going to get you so far, because historically, you're not talking about, real raw D1 talent. You're talking about guys that got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. So the athletic, the physical side can only take you so far, but you really need to supplement that with the preparation and what you're doing, when the cameras aren't on, what you're doing when you're getting reps, and I think that's like, so those two things, I think, is bringing those together is the most important piece.
Okay, Ram, just want to thank you so much for having some time with us. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I only have one more question to ask you. It should be the easiest one of the night. What's your favorite SweetNur song? It's
absolutely Don't Give Up the Ship. And
oh, nice.
I get a cameo in there, so I feel a little bit, I should get some royalties for that one.
Wait a minute. Let's go off the record on that one. But thank you, man. I appreciate you spinning the music, and please share it with a friend. Man, it's so good to see you. I wish we were doing this more often, so I'm going to start texting you more. It's great to see you again. You have yourself a good rest of your evening, brother.
Yeah, you guys as well. John, pleasure to see you, brother. Been a while.
Hey, good to see you too, Ram.
Hey, do you live in Philadelphia, Virginia Beach, Annapolis, or Memphis, Tennessee? Did you know we are bringing the SweetNur House Show to your city in October? House show? What is that, like a real estate thing? Negative, shipmate. A house show is how we create a unique concert experience in someone's home. Back in the day, my wife and I, with the help of some crafty Seabees, converted a horse trailer into a food trailer, and today we serve our world-famous iron pies. What's an iron pie? Imagine a sandwich compressed between 2 pie irons and cooked over a fire until toasted to a golden brown, fresh hot flavor blast. This is one of the multiple ways we aim to give you a different concert experience. The venue is always intimate and unique. The music and storytelling is original work by yours truly, and we serve up our handmade delicacies. Tickets are on sale at SweetNurmusic.com. Philly, Annapolis, Vaughan Beach, Memphis. Come out for an unforgettable night. That's SWEET. And is in November. URmusic.com. By the way, do you own a business? Is it local in the cities I mentioned? Are you looking for a unique way to get exposure? Our house shows serve a captive audience. It's an intimate evening, indeed unique and certainly memorable. If you'd like to support our team and get some marketing in yourself, maybe sponsoring a show is the right thing for you. Hit up Chris at SweetNurmusic.com. That's me. Ladies and gentlemen, your 1986 Navy football team captain, starting quarterback, former commandant of midshipmen, Admiral Bill Byrne. Well, hello there, Admiral Byrne. How you doing?
Chris, hello ago.
Where are you calling from?
Vienna, Virginia, just outside D.C., 1 hour west of Annapolis, Maryland.
Excellent. Tell me, how is retirement life going?
It is pretty decent. Yeah, I retired exactly 1 year ago, last August. Doing a little bit of consulting, part-time only, when I'm available, when I want to do it, and we're doing a lot of traveling.
I just imagine you outside every day just chopping wood. Do you do that like Rocky Balboa style or no?
I don't, and I nor do I play pickleball.
What?
Trying to keep myself in shape still running around a little bit. But you know what we're actually doing is what we've been told not to do in retirement. We're always told, don't chase your kids. We chase the hell out of our kids.
Chase them? Who told you that? Stop hanging out with them.
All the old people.
You get the best part.
And now we got 4 grandchildren. We're chasing them too.
The best part of being the grandparents is that you get to hang out with the kids until they get sour and you just pass them right back to the parents. And, it's like the best part.
No doubt.
I noticed, did you want to make a point how I see the Led Zeppelin book behind you? I know you're studying up for tour with SweetNur. Are you excited to join the band and stuff?
I'm going to manage the band.
Hey.
Maybe I'll be player coach. Guest appearance occasionally.
Any contribution from Admiral Byrne would be helpful and welcome. So I'll take backup guitar, backup vocalist, manager, tour manager, agent, booking agent, hybrid. I think you're
jack of all trades.
Exactly. That's what SWOs are, right? We're just a jack of all trades.
Got it.
Are you going to Dublin this year?
I'm going to Dublin, man. I told you we're traveling a lot, and it's international. So I'm first generation Irish. My mom and dad were born and raised there. I married a Donovan. She's Irish, never been. So I'm taking her on our second honeymoon. We're going for the weekend of the game, and then we're staying a week afterwards.
Excellent. Are you staying right in Dublin for the whole week?
Just for the weekend, and then we're going south and west.
Awesome.
The old sod.
I'm excited for you. That sounds like a lovely trip, and I'm desperate to get out there myself. Maybe one day.
Yeah.
I can do the same. So you've played against Notre Dame. You have a storied Navy football career. Tell us about your experiences playing against the Irish.
Yeah, unfortunately, there were losses, as were most of us in that 43-year dry spell. So sophomore, junior, senior year, I got to play against them 3 times, and my statistics were not very impressive. 1 rushing touchdown, 1 passing touchdown, and actually 1 receiving touchdown. We ran a trick play, and I caught a touchdown. But that's across 3 games. But it includes 1 broken ankle and 1 ruptured spleen.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That makes me think, sophomore year, you're a young guy. How old do you think you were that sophomore year?
20 years old.
20 years old, playing against Notre Dame for Division I football program. Where did you summon the courage? You walk out in that field to have the confidence.
Man, that was awesome. Up in the Meadowlands, we were the home team. So we, obviously we never played in Annapolis because Notre Dame travels well. There were 65,000 people in the house. It was amazing. And we had them on the ropes. We were up 17-15, 14 seconds left. Their great kicker, John Carney, kicked a 44-yard field goal to stick the dagger in our...
Yeah, dagger indeed. So how did you calm your nerves back then? I mean, everyone's counting on you. You're a young guy. You got a lot to prove. Your parents are probably in the stands. What did you do to channel the right energy?
Yeah. You know what I did? I went to naps.
Hey,
I am a huge proponent of the Naval Academy Prep School. I put on 25 pounds. I grew up socially. I grew up emotionally. I learned a little bit of calculus. I learned a little bit of chemistry, but I put on 25 pounds. And so when I showed up, I was much more ready to play. And I didn't play as a plebe. I mean, I was the ragdoll meat squad quarterback, but that too was experience. And going up against our number one D every day is experience in itself. And it gave me some confidence because I got better that year. And then when we came back for camp in August, I was ready to compete.
Let's talk about that competing at camp in August coming into your sophomore year. Can you recall maybe the moments that kind of decided your starting position?
Yeah, so I barely made the list of quarterbacks to come back from camp. I was number 6 of 6 returning quarterbacks, and we had a couple plebes in there too. So there were 9, 10 of us in that camp. And then slowly but surely, I just started pecking away at that list, and I was number 4, and I was number 3. Going into the final scrimmage, I was number 2, but I got thrown in with the 1s. And man, the game just slowed down. I was able to see things. I was able to make adjustments, and it just slowed down for me, not passing me by at a million miles an hour. And I can recall the series of downs where I was pop, 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 completing everything, and I could see the quarterback coach and the head coach talking to one another. I said, "Oh man, I think this is good. I think it's working." And the funny thing was, Tom Brady in Deflategate, when he, took the pressure out of the football, I had a soft football and I loved it.
Really?
Because I could get a little bit better grip. And so when that whole thing went down with Tom Brady, I was like, "You go, Tom. Whatever it takes, man."
Whatever it takes.
That's right.
I thank you for sharing that, Coach. So how about as a parent and then as a leader out in the fleet? I mean, what were you taking away? What were the principles you took from Navy football and the academy physical? Let me pause that, walk that back real quick.
Yep.
I'm going to pause here. Well, thank you for sharing that, Admiral. No, that was lame. Hold on. I just want to call you Bill because we're boys. I also know we're best, the whole Naps thing. That's why we're so close.
Yeah,
we're Napsters.
It's obviously up to you. I would prefer if you call me Bill, but
I know.
Our audience might want to hear something different.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We'll keep it professional. Thank you for sharing that, Admiral. I got to think, as a parent, how many children did you raise?
5 kids.
5 kids.
Four of them through the Naval Academy.
5 kids, 4 of them through the Naval Academy, a long, tough career in the Navy, active duty. You had sailors to lead as well. Talk to me about stewarding your family and your commands to success.
Yeah. So I was 5 and dive. I went surface warfare out of the Naval Academy because it was my quickest way out. And my whole intention in life was to go back to Pacifica, California, where I grew up just outside San Francisco, and teach and coach. That's all I wanted to do. Somewhere along the line in those 5 years, I started liking it, and I realized, hey, I'm pretty good at this. And then I'd say about the 7 or 8 year mark, I started loving it. And I never looked back, and I never questioned my decision to stay in. Because what I realized as I was going along is teaching and coaching is exactly what I was doing. A little bit different field, a little bit different classroom, but I was teaching and I was coaching and motivating and trying to inspire. And that's, that obviously applies in life as a husband and a father too. So I was very blessed.
Amen to that. Let's put you in the locker room right now, pre-game. The boys are about to take the field in Dublin. They got a Goliath awaiting them at kickoff.
Yeah.
What do you want them to tell? And I want to put you on the spot so you don't have to give a whole speech, but what are the major takeaways you'd want them to take away from hearing you?
Man, you got to leave it on the field. Leave it on the field. Trust the guy to your right. Trust the guy to your left. Know that if you go down because you've given your all, some other guy's going to come in here and take your place. So don't ever hesitate to give 100% of the time.
I like it. Hey, last question for you, sir. Your favorite SweetNur song, if you had to pick one?
Yeah, not college.
Hey, we got to talk about that real quick.
Back in the day, man, when you gave me that first demo CD, it is still in my Toyota Highlander.
Oh my gosh, it's a good old mixtape like that in a Toyota Highlander. What year is that Highlander?
03.
Man, it just belongs there. Yeah, so we got to talk about that because you know my brother and I go back and forth. We remember writing that song, okay, and it was a major hit after the talent show, and then at the football camp at the end of that year.
Went viral.
It went viral with relatively, but I can't put the dates together. But I also know that you came and did a commandant's call and came and spoke to the brigade, and you whipped out a shirt and said "Not College," and you branded like your commandant campaign off "Not College," and I kind of think we need to dispute some royalties here and talk about. Who got it from where, whose intellectual property we're talking about here, but I just want some credit for that Not College. But, I actually think my brother was saying he caught it from, he was walking when he comes back on the podcast, we'll ask him what company it was, but he was walking through one of the wings and saw it on a bulletin board, like in a poster, it said like Not College.
Yeah.
And he went back and started writing the song, which we should play on here. Actually, we should. It's not appropriate. But maybe one day the hidden gems, a volume will come out from the vault, and we'll re-release it mastered.
That's why it's my favorite. You say it's not appropriate. I think it's perfectly appropriate. Now it's a little irreverent, but you are in fact Chris Northern, right? And that's what I've always loved about you. But there's a good message at the end, right? If you get lemons, make lemonade.
Amen.
It's all going to be good. Everything that we do at the Naval Academy, moral, mental, academic, athletics, all of it is hard, but the heart is good. And that's what I take away from Not College. That's a great song.
It's in the struggle. The beauty is in the struggle, and it wouldn't be so sweet of a reward if it wasn't so hard. It's not supposed to be easy. There's no doubt about that, sir.
Yeah.
Did you know, in closing, we're coming to Annapolis in October for a SweetNur house show, putting on a concert downtown after the North Texas game, I think. Just want to make sure, obviously, you're going to be there. You probably already bought your tickets, but want to make sure everybody knows we're going to see you and your family there.
Am I not going to be the manager that night?
Yeah, you're right. What am I saying? It's already on the SOE that you wrote for us. Yeah. And I was really offline. We got to talk about some logistics. Yeah. We got some load in, load out stuff. And we'll split those royalties. Well, thank you so much, sir, for spending some time with us tonight. And I noticed you're drinking some coffee. And first off, did you put some sweetener in that cup tonight?
Double dose, always.
Amen.
Yeah.
I also noticed, what's on that thing? What does that cup say?
Yeah. So this is a relic right here. Vela, 2007.
Oh, my goodness.
There he is on top of Jimmy Clausen. And on the back, it says 2007 Navy football. Foam finger, $4. Season ticket, $200. Beating Notre Dame, priceless.
Priceless. We need about 1,000 of those made in the next 2 weeks so we can get those things on the shelves in the mid-store immediately.
Yeah, you bet.
All right, sir. Have a good rest of your evening. Say hello to your family for us, and have safe travels to Dublin. Go Navy.
Right on, Chris. Beat the Irish.
Hey, with football season around the corner, you may be in need of some new Navy swag, or how the Gen Zers say, drip. We have officially launched the first ever SweetNur Sing Second ball cap. Head to sweetnurmusic.com and snag yourself a fresh way to rep the goats. That's SWEETNUR music.com. It's a win-win. You're supporting SweetNur and you look good doing it. Ladies and gentlemen, entering his 16th year for the goats, assistant head coach and offensive line coach for Navy football, Ashley Ingram. Coach, welcome to Sing Second Sports. Good to see you again. It's 10 o'clock your time. We're in the middle of camp. Tell us about the schedule tomorrow. What's the day-to-day look like for you guys right now?
Tomorrow, I just got home, walked in the door as I got on the phone with you guys. So we've been going starting meetings at 6 a.m. We're going through 10 o'clock, getting home and stuff. Tomorrow is the last day of camp. School starts on Thursday. And actually tomorrow, I'm sure you guys both remember, hello night for the plebes. So they get a little razzing and all that good stuff. But they'll have a little fun, but obviously they'll be happy that plebe summer's over. So, another full day tomorrow. Then we're like into the act year, type of flow of things.
Okay, so we're coming to a close on camp. Tell us any major developments. What are you really excited for going into your game preparation for Notre Dame? Tell us about how your camp went.
I'm excited that camp is over. If you guys remember when we played Notre Dame in 2012 in Ireland, so we started a week early. So we've had a long camp. It's time to move on and to start focusing on Notre Dame. So no, it's been good. We started kind of turned our attention towards Notre Dame this week. We're working through a game plan, working through a few wrinkles, kind of seeing what we like. Probably we'll go in this week with a little more offense than we'll have in the game. As the game gets closer, I'm sure we'll kind of pull things back. But it's been great. Guys have worked very hard. Been a lot of competition. So yeah, we're pleased. Obviously, very tough opponent, tough way to start. They're pretty good. They're always a challenge, but our guys typically rise to the occasion, and I would suspect they'll do it again.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned 2012, and obviously there's a lot of similarities on a lot of different levels. But one of the things that I wanted to ask you about, uniquely, that was actually my senior year, so I have a lot of great memories from that year. The outcome in that game didn't go as well as we had hoped back in 2012. Great Notre Dame team, as you have already mentioned, and we were a team that we're still trying to figure ourselves out on offense. And there's a little bit of carryover to the team now. Not so much trying to figure yourselves out on offense, but the fact that we got a new system being worked in, new coaching staff, and also, as I understand it, there's a little bit of undecidedness at the quarterback position. We got a lot of athletes, a lot of guys that can play, some veterans, some a little bit younger. Can you give us a little bit of insight into the quarterback position? One thing of note that's I think is uniquely familiar too is to 2012 is that was the year that Keenan Reynolds kind of broke onto the scene and really turned our season around. We had a great year. And I'm wondering if there's any young guys that are really kind of making an impact, or some of the veterans that have obviously been playing well in the last few years and stepping back up and leading the offense from that critical position.
Yeah, a lot of similarities. Not completely settled at quarterback going into this game. Now, that was a great football team we played over in Ireland. Obviously, Notre Dame that year played for the national championship. I think Alabama beat them. Here's what I'll say. I think things are going well on offense. Get quite a few new wrinkles. We will have success on offense this year. We're going to play well. It may take a little time to get going. Hopefully we come out the gate swinging and we play well. Quarterback, we've got a lot of really talented guys. Ty Levitai was injured last season. He is back. He's 100% healthy. He has looked great. Kind of surprised me that he was as far along as he was, in his rehab when we started camp. But he's looked great as well as he's ever looked. We've got another young man, Blake Horvath, who is a sophomore out of Ohio. And I tell you, he would remind you a little bit athletically like Chris Proctor. I mean, he's like a long kid, really can run. Maybe the fastest quarterback, great top end speed. Good operator, good option guy. He's certainly in the mix. Obviously, Xavier Arline has played a lot of football for us as a talented kid. And we've got a freshman, we'll see how this goes and how it progresses. But Braxton Woodson, a young man out of Florida, is doing a great job as well. So there's a lot of talent there. And I think we will, we may play two quarterbacks the first game. Obviously, that's, still up in there. We're 10 days out, but we're working a lot of guys. These guys are playing well. I'm excited about them. I do think at some point, and it will probably take some games, I think, we'll figure out who the starter is and who's the guy that can move the football for us. But, no, these guys are all doing great.
Coach, what excites you about your new head coach?
Coach Newberry, great guy, great defensive mind. He's kind of a free thinker, kind of mad scientist type guy. But, we're changing up a few things. We're doing practice-wise. We're changing up kind of the flow of the week. So he's doing a lot of things that I think will benefit us. I think he's been here long enough. He's been at the academy. I think this will be his fourth or fifth year. He's been the defensive coordinator leading up till now. So he knows the academy. He understands the challenges. He understands, some situations and some things that are kind of tough on the young man. So he's trying to do everything we can to kind of mitigate some of those things. So I think there's some good things happening. But I think the biggest thing is he's just a good guy. He's a very good football coach. He has a plan. He has a vision. He knows exactly what he wants the football team to look like. And I think we're heading in that direction. I think we're going to put a product on the field that kind of reflects his personality. What he's always said is he wants us to be a nightmare to prepare for, whether it be offense, defense, or in the kicking game. And that's our intention and that's our plan. And I think at some point this season you'll see that.
Do you ever wish you had a beard like him, Coach?
I don't know if I'm a beard guy. I actually shaved tonight. I let it grow a little bit during camp. It just doesn't work.
It's impressive. I think part of his posture in terms of like how he looks to a defense and like you're saying his character comes out on the team. I think it plays a lot to that perfectly chiseled beard. So I just don't want to discount it. It's Zeus-esque, yeah.
Oh, he's got a great beard. There's no doubt about it.
No doubt, sir. No doubt.
Hey, Coach, you've been obviously with the program for many years now. You've seen some of the highs, you've seen some of the lows. You've also been able to be a part of some of the teams that have knocked off this storied program that is Notre Dame. What are the keys to victory heading into this game against Notre Dame this year?
Yeah, I have been fortunate enough, blessed enough to be on the winning end of this game 3 times. We beat them out at Notre Dame in 2009, and we beat them up at MetLife in 2010, and we beat them down in Jacksonville. And I can't remember the year there. You guys might remember.
Coach, that was 2016 was my wedding day. You guys secured the victory right before the ceremony started. So that was my wedding gift from Navy football.
Oh, that is awesome. Well, here's the truth and the reality is this, that they are a great football team. They're a great football program. And for us to have a chance, we almost have to be hitting on all cylinders. Like our Coach Newberry said this last night to the guys, is our B game will not beat Notre Dame. I don't know if our B+ game will beat Notre Dame. I think our A+ game can beat Notre Dame, and things will have to go our way even to do that. So when we have beat them, we've controlled the ball. We have not turned the ball over. We've got a turnover or two, and we've kind of kept their offense off the field. And I guess and somebody's always stepped up and made a play. I know you guys just talked around Vela. He made an iconic play. We were talking about Jabari Tawani. Ricky Dobbs made throws. Gigi Green had a run in 2010. Greg Jones made a catch in 2010. That's pretty impressive. Yeah. So Alex Teach in 2010 ran wild. He had a great screen. So guys will have to step up, and guys will have to make plays, and then we will have to play a dang near flawless game to have an opportunity.
Hey, I want to talk about that 2016 team and about guys who step up. One of my favorite stories of that year was Will Worth. I'm curious, can you talk about his journey from he may have been a walk-on to back up to starter? I would love to know what was going on in the coaching room, talking about players going down, Will Worth stepping up. Tell us about how that developed.
I think the Will Worth story is probably not told enough in kind of the Navy football lore. But he is the epitome of a Navy football player. He's a great guy, tough guy. He was a 3-year backup, and he was going into his senior year. He'd backed up Keenan Reynolds. Obviously, he was a holder on the PAT field goal team. Probably played a little bit, in some big wins. And Tago Smith was the starter going into that season. Now, the tragic part is obviously for Will to play, Tago had to be injured because Tago was a dynamic player and had waited his turn and had done everything that, we could have asked of him. But Will, he got his opportunity, and he just played lights out. And he was actually on record or on track to maybe even break a couple of Keenan's records touchdown rushing in a season. Now, I will say this. I obviously, when all this happened, I was like, man, there's no way this is going to work out. If we can win a game, we're going to be fortunate. And we went down to Tulane, and I think he started at Tulane his first game. And somehow we found a way to win that game. And I don't know if I was talking to Coach O'Rourke or somebody, and I was like, how did that even happen? And then we just got on the roll. I think we won 10 that year. And then obviously the tragic part of it is in the AAC championship game. He had the Liz Frank injury to his foot and was not able to play against Army and not able to play against La Tech in the bowl game in Fort Worth. So, no, but was a really cool season, really cool story. And to me, just the epitome of, Navy football and the next man up mentality. But no, he's a Navy legend for sure. Every time we step on the field, you just don't know what's going to happen. And we were talking to the offensive line tonight. In 2019, we had a great season. We had an 11-win season. We had 5 offensive linemen start all 13 games. We did not lose an offensive lineman all season to injury. The last 3 seasons, it's been like musical chairs. I mean, we've had injury after injury. I think in 2021 out at Notre Dame, I think we were down to our 4th center. I mean, they were just dropping like flies. So I think Will Worth is the epitome. And I think it kind of brings home as a coach that you have to have your backups ready because you just never know, when someone's going to go down. And then I think Will is a testament to Will and the story you try to maybe let the younger guys know that is you never know when your opportunity is going to come and you've got to be ready. And obviously Will got his opportunity and he was ready to roll.
I love it. Coach, thank you so much for coming on with us today. I just have one final question. What is your favorite SweetNur song?
Without hesitation, Baydale.
All right, great jam. Well, thank you so much for spinning the tunes. We're coming to Annapolis in October. We're bringing the SweetNur House Show on the road. We'll be playing downtown after the North Texas game. I'm assuming your family will be there, right, Coach?
We'll be there, and we'll come celebrate with you afterwards.
That's right. Awesome. Coach, have a great rest of your evening. Finish camp strong, and let's beat Notre Dame.
Let's do it. Good to talk to you guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Give them hell, Coach. Thanks for your time.
See you, brother.
Baby, won't you let me in? I'm tired as hell. I got time to spare. Won't you say let me in?
Well, that's it for part 1. I hope you've enjoyed it. Stick around for part 2. We have a little change of perspective coming up you won't want to miss. See you soon. Go Navy. The Sing Second podcast is made possible by our title sponsor, ProMD Health in Annapolis, Maryland. Many thanks to Scott Melamed, the owner and operator of ProMD Health. Scott is a former first responder, and his father was a firefighter responding to the 9/11 attacks in New York City. Scott understands duty and sacrifice, and his support of the Naval Academy and the physical mission are so appreciated. At ProMD Health, their unique personal approach to medicine, coupled with their cutting-edge anti-aging treatments, provide patients with unsurpassed care in a relaxing setting. I want some of that. They cater to patients that require the best in personalized medical care. ProMD Health Annapolis offers a unique, personalized touch to the latest and greatest in anti-aging treatments and beyond. Their experienced staff is ready to serve you before, during, and after your visit. Check them out at www.promdhealth.com. That's Pro, M as in Mike, D as in Delta, health.com. The thoughts and opinions expressed on this pod are our own. They don't represent the views of the Naval Academy Athletic Association, United States Naval Academy, or any organization for that matter. Audio and visual play-by-play calls courtesy of NBC Sports were played throughout this episode. We do not own any of that footage, nor do we own any of the Fleet or Navy football footage used in this episode. All applicable rights remain reserved by their respective owners. I do own the music that was played on this episode. All rights reserved by me, SweetNur Music. If you want to use my tunes, just call me. Have a good one. This is a SweetNur Music production.